Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Shay Miller, right? And I'm back with this amazing video. I just want to, take the time. This is something you can do at home, or this is something you can answer for yourself. You only know these answers as a person. You only know whether you really do or not. Nobody else lives in your head. No one else walks in your shoes. So only you can know these things for yourself. So do you love yourself? Do you genuinely care for yourself and your well-being? Do you love yourself? Do you forgive the people who've hurt you in your life, who've come in and either, taking you for granted or mistreating you or hurt you in some way or made promise to you that they never committed to you? Do you forgive people? Do you know how to forgive people? Have you learned the art of letting go and forgiving? Do you understand who you are? Do you understand what your purpose is? Do you know what your purpose is? What is your desire? What makes you fulfilled? What makes you happy as a person besides if you're a giver who gives to people? Like, what makes you solely happy as a person, as an individual? What makes you happy? Have you come to learn to love and accept yourself? Do you accept the mistakes you made, your shortcomings, your wrongdoings, your decisions, those times you done people wrong and may have said some things that you did not mean? Have you learned to accept that you're going to make mistakes? Have you learned to accept these things? Do you fully know how to be one with yourself? Do you know how to connect with you and connect with others? Be in tune with your own self, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Do you know how to be in tune with you? Do you genuinely care to learn how? Are you healed as a person? Have you overcome your past and your wounds? Have you healed those things within yourselves that you've neglected for years? If you're someone who hasn't healed and you're somebody who's been neglecting yourself, you may want to take time to really work on you. Especially during this time of quarantine. I mean, we're in quarantine. If you don't have time to work on yourself, what you got time for if you don't have time to work on yourself? You make all this effort for other people. You make all this time for other people. You make all this time to do things for others. But when the real time comes down to working on you, working for you, working to give to you, working to diligently improve yourself, help yourself be better and great, you neglect that. And if you're somebody who takes no time and effort in investing in yourself and really doing that diligent work, right, you should appreciate yourself more. You should stop looking down on yourself. Stop making yourself feel bad for not feeling fully all the way being there in life. Like, you're gonna be at points in your life. You're gonna be on a mountaintop at one point. It's gonna feel so great to be up there, But even people who go to the mountain have to learn how to come down and get to the jungle or the forest, or learn how to walk down here on the platform of the flat earth. We all can't stay on a mountain forever, because on top of the mountains where the winds are, you don't learn the lessons. So you got to come down here and experience some hardships. And when you come to the ground of hardships and come to the jungle of lack of understanding and the lostness of the realm, you learn to love you and be in tune with you. You can never truly be lost, because in oneself is always one found. The complete and contentment of you is aligned within your spirit. And the spirit within you is the energy of manifestation of what you speak and what you know and what you truly put the energy in believing. Your identity is your soul and your personality, and that's who you are. The beauty in loving yourself is so empowering, and it's such a beautiful concept. It's such a beautiful thing that you can love yourself and fully be happy with just being who you are. Being happy with your mistakes and just being happy with, whatever. You can look and reflect over the things you've done and really take the true information from it and not look at it like I I really made some mistakes in my life. Don't look at it from a depressed or negative or pessimistic perspective. Look at it from like, oh man, I really grown up. Like I was thinking one way then, now I'm thinking like this. You gotta give yourself credit, because it's hard to grow up in life. It's hard to evolve. It's hard to move on. It's hard to improve. It's hard to want to change your fixed mindsets. Okay, you can't beat yourself down for not being where you want to be. Because it's a process to this life. We all faded for something different. We all have our own purposes and journeys and, things that we come to do. But you can't put the stress on yourself. You can't worry about anything. There's nothing that's worthy of worrying about anyway. And nothing is truly our own. We work hard to buy and possess things. And yeah, we can leave a legacy behind, make an impact, change people's lives. But we mostly can change ourselves. That's the greatest impact and the greatest thing we can take with us. Because after we leave this body, yeah, we could pass it down onto our family for generations and generations to come. Everything that we work hard for, the legacy that we built, the things that we do, we can leave it behind for our family and those to come after us. And we can make a better future for the generations to come. And that's the beauty in all that. That is so beautiful, That's the most beautiful thing about, loving who you are, because in that process you learn what you want to do. You learn what you want to do for the world. You learn what you want to do for people. You learn what you want to do for yourself, but also your family, and how important it is for you to evolve as that person. And that's a really beautiful thing. It's rare that it happens, and you want to live in the significance of growth, because the beauty of growth is the blossoming, like the flowers. You see how beautiful the roses look when they bloom, and how things look when it's like growing. You see how nature looks when it's fully grown. That's the beauty in growth. We don't talk about the struggles of nature because we don't experience them. We don't talk about how trees fall down and limbs, and we don't know if they feel pain. We don't know if they all have spirits though. Animals have a spirit. Trees have spirits. Everything around us is spirit and energy, frequencies and vibrations. And we live on a higher level than what is seen physically. And when you think about the world as energy, and think about the world as a cause and effect, and what you give is what you get. And sometimes even when giving, you don't get. You can work hard all your life and never get everything you want. But the true happiness lies within oneself. Finding inner peace and being happy with what you have is more gratitude than, having it all and never knowing how to take it in appreciation, Because you can have what you want and misappreciate it. I've seen this many times before in human nature. Human nature, people pursue really hard for the things they desire, and once they have it, they so sadly take it for granted. Take it for granted. Mistreat it, misuse it, and abuse it, and forget how hard they work for it. Don't accept it. People work hard for things, and then once they have it, they mistreat it. Overlook it. Take it for granted. Forget about it. Don't put no more effort into it once they've had it. When you achieve your dreams, you don't stop there. When you hit a goal, you don't start with that goal. You keep going. You evolve with the goal. The goal grows. The dream grows with you, and you grow with the dream. And, it's all about growth. So if you're growing together with everything and everyone around you, if you're evolving, a person who's about fully flourishing and living in the abundance of peace of oneself, I see and I know it's a lot of negativity that goes on in the world. But as a person who is, lives in the wisdom and the knowledge of self, and the knowledge of love, and the knowledge of the spirit that lives within myself, but also my soul, my personality, and who I really am. As somebody who knows these things and pride myself in, living for that and teaching those things, I want people to know that, even though you don't know the experience of the nature, they experience hardships like we do. And even when you don't see fully what animals go through, they experience hardships like we do. We all go through something in order to grow to the point where we are. No one stays the same, and no one feels the same experience. No one feels the same hurt, you know. But we all have to experience something to grow. And the best thing about it is we get to learn. We get to learn about more who we are. We get to learn to love ourselves. We get to learn to love people. And it's so beautiful. And the concept of it is amazing. So these questions are for you. But the focus of this video is to make sure that you spend time loving you more. And that you learn to appreciate yourself. Because even you sometimes don't deserve yourself. Because you don't know how to appreciate yourself. And you want others to appreciate you. Yet you expect and require all these things. Yet you're not the reflection of what you require or expect. Live in the standards of what you say you want. But don't put standards on other people. Because even in standards, you limit and stunt your growth. If you want to be someone who grows all the time, you can't just have these limits. You got to be limitless. Infinite possibilities of infinite amount of abundance and growth, no matter what. See, the beauty and everything is that all is one and one is all. And the universe is connected and we're all connected to each other. And though most people don't believe in the same thing, we're all one. Everything has its own cause and effect. And what happens to one may not happen right now, but it eventually affect us all. So, you could watch the news and don't feed into negativity. Seek positive. But take from the negative and learn what it is that they're trying to tell you. Don't feed into fear. Don't let the tactics of this world make you run scared. You got to be bold and brave and courageous within yourself. To live in a world like it is and the way it always been, you have to be sure what you stand for, what you believe. And when you fully know that you love yourself, is being able to be okay with not having all together, with not being there already, with not having it all accomplished right now, with saying, hey, I'm me and I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. It's a process. And I'm learning to enjoy my journey. You got to speak about yourself. You got to speak about yourself in a manner that is well-pleasing to the soul, but also to the spirit of yourself. Because at the end of the day, like I said, you must cherish yourself. Cherish yourself. Cherish and love you in a way that no one else know how to. Because in this life, you got to be the reflection of what you want. So who going to know how to love you if you don't know how to love yourself? Who gonna know how to treat you if you don't know how to treat yourself? Sometimes in loving who you are, you can teach somebody else how to love themselves. But you can't be the reflection if you're not the reflection of what you want. You can't expect if you're not the reflection of what you want. See, sometimes in life, you have to be the cornerstone of the very thing that you desire. If you're somebody who believes in change, you got to be change itself. You got to be the full manufacturing of change. You got to be somebody who's always about learning, always about growth, always willing to admit when wrong and accept the fact that you are. Somebody who's just well evolved in self. Somebody who's always looking to learn something new and willing to learn and willing to make the sacrifices to do it. Somebody's always open to helping and very kind-hearted and forgiving. I'm not saying you have to be perfect and just fully good. I'm not saying you can't make mistakes. I'm saying that you should accept the fact that you do and love the fact that you are imperfect. Because you still have time to be beautiful. You got so much room to grow and be amazing. We're like the four seasons. We fall like the leaves, We freeze up in times of our lives like the winter. We ball out like the summer. We go through all these and we pour like the rain. We go through all these seasons within ourselves, all these phases, all these life lessons, and all these experiences that make us who we are. And it's so beautiful because we come in the world with knowing who we are, but not fully. We come in the world with the information within ourselves, but we have to learn again to fully know who we are. Because it's not looking to find who you are, but also learning to love and know who you are already. We come in this world with a purpose. We come in this world with these things within our souls. But even if we learn, we have fixed learnings. Even when we learn certain things, there's some things in with us. There's some things within ourselves that we never had to go learn. It's some things within ourselves and our genetic disposition and our genetic engineering and our genetic coding. We're like the fastest machines on earth. The brain, the mind. It's like the fastest concept of information. When you can process it and figure out things and solve solutions and be somebody who's very active in that field. And it's a beautiful thing to just learn. I enjoy learning. Okay. Somebody put a ultimatum on me one time. It was like, if you can choose between learning and helping people, which one would you choose? And it's pretty baffling to be asked such a question because you have to think about the nature of that question and how stupid it sounds. You know what I'm saying? How could you help people if you don't know nothing? It requires to learn if you're going to help people. So if you don't know nothing, if you're not learning, how could you help a person? So for that to be an ultimatum, for that to be a stuck in a corner and a last resort of a choice, I would choose learning because I could never fully extend my help in my hand if I never learned, if I never experienced, if I never went through hardships, if I never learned it on my own first to teach other people. So the importance of this message is that, I would never pick one over the other because the one is learning. Yes, I'm a jack of all trades and learning to master a few. I'm someone who believes in the power of expanding the mind, and I want to expand my mind beyond the depths of knowing how to expand and how far the depths go. So I'm a deep person who loves information and wisdom. So my idea of help is learning. I evolve myself around learning. My surrounding ideas are learning. It's an evolved concept. Because you can never grow your ideas or your dreams or help people if you don't learn. Like, you could never understand love if you never had the understanding to know what love was, nor if you never learned to love. If you never learned these things, if you never understood or never had the common sense to know. If you don't know how to help people or don't understand, how could you help them? So no, I would pick learning over helping people. But I would choose both because that's a horrible ultimatum for anybody to choose. And if you're someone who's intellectual, you definitely don't have to choose one. Never choose one. Never choose to just limit yourself from learning different things. Be open-minded when it comes to learning. There's nothing wrong with being a jack of all trades. Because you know what? You're never useless to yourself. You're never someone who's a useless person. Incompetent and unable to do for yourself. You're self-reliant and able to know. And in what you know and what people want to know, you can give them the information because you took the time to learn yourself. You took the time to experience. You took the time to do it. So the importance in learning evolves around the world because the importance of learning makes everything more better. Because if you're not focused on learning, what are you focused on? And what is the concept beyond learning? Because if there's nothing involving learning or growth, then everything around you would just shrivel up and wither away. It would have no abundance. It would have no fruitfulness. It would have no power. It would have nothing that is transpired to be great. So without my ability and my love and passion for wisdom and knowledge, I could not help people. I could not help people. I would be incompetent. I would be unvaluable. I would be somebody who was just didn't know. And I don't want to be a person who don't know. I don't want to be a person who don't learn. I don't want to be a person who just unacknowledged about things. I don't want to be that person who said, I could have took the time to learn, but I decided to help people. But in my ignorance, I decided helping people was better than learning, because I thought if I just help people with what I know already, I thought that'd be enough. In your ignorancy, you thought that because you knew some things, that what you knew already was enough to teach the universe. But what you don't know is that if you don't continue to learn, what you know will allow you to evaporate and no longer have any importance in this life. And everything you teach will be unvaluable to people because it's irrelevant and you're not learning and growing. So, I know I stress a lot of importance on a lot of things because I believe in a lot of things. I'm a very strong believing woman, and I believe in the learning capacity of life itself. And I want people to challenge people to learn about yourself, learn about your ideas, learn about your thoughts. Really get to learn and be in love with yourself. And that's the most powerful thing you can do these days. I believe the importance of loving yourself is way more serious than people realize, because in loving yourself, you learn to evolve with everything and everyone around you, because you learn that all is connected and all is one. Loving yourself and being in love with yourself are two different things, but it's both greatly amazing, and it makes you an amazing person as you are. So, you should really learn and take the time to love you. Effectively give yourself the things you need and desire. Be diligent in your pursuit of love, of yourself. Pursue yourself. Work on who you are. Work on who you are. Because the more effective you are with yourself, the more effective you are with other people. But also, the joy and fulfillment that comes from being who you are and learning to love your mistakes and the things that you decide for yourself. Don't look down upon yourself. If you don't accept your mistakes and the things you done wrong, you look down on yourself. Accept it. Accept your mistakes. Accept that you done wrong. Accept that things that you've said and times that you didn't mean to say what you said. And the beauty and growth is that you always get to learn. You got lessons in everyday life. And you get the chance to really make a difference. Make a difference within yourself, but also in other people, because you are the reflection of what you want in life. So know that in loving yourself, you can change a lot of people's lives, because people can see how you love yourself, and they'll want to love themselves too. And that's the beauty about it. It's not all about you. It's about everyone around you and everything you attract to you. What are you showing? What you represent? What are you the reflection of? What are you the reflection of? Self-love, empathy, compassion, honesty, integrity, dignity, persistency, consistency, love, entrepreneurship. You gotta be everything you want in this life. And you gotta learn to cherish and love yourself, because in this life, I learned that human nature, once people receive what they work hard for, they take it for granted. So don't take for granted the things you want after you've pursued it and you've gotten it. Love who you are, genuinely and persistently and consistently and effectively and abundantly. And be in love with yourself. Be so in love with yourself that even when you make mistakes, those mistakes will not hinder you.